All right, welcome to the Sweet Talk. Today is Monday, October 28, 2019. I am your host, Kim Mattina, and I am a Google certified trainer and a technology teacher, as well as a gold product expert for the Google for Education team. And today I'm so happy to have on my show Katherine Goyette, second time around this time. Katherine is an independent consultant in Central California, and she is a Google certified trainer as well as an innovator. So welcome to the show.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Yeah, it's been a while since the last time you were on. I think you were on like maybe last year.
It was months ago at some point, but great to be back.
Yeah, really like back. So I'm glad that you're on and share your expertise and helping educators use ed tech in the classroom and paying it forward. So thanks for helping me do that.
Sure. Thank you for all you do. Yeah.
It's all good. We're in this together. That's what I say. We're in this journey together. So we have to try to help each other and support one another because, sometimes it's hard to feel appreciated in this profession. So, it's always good to talk to like-minded people and help each other out.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So I know today you're going to be talking about Google Keep.
Yeah.
And Google Keep is definitely underutilized, right?
Absolutely.
And it's nice that you're going to be on today to talk about how we can use it in the classroom and use it for different things as, for students and for teachers. So I'm going to let you talk about it, and I'm going to hopefully, get a couple good tips from you so I can pass along to staff at my school as well.
Excellent. I love it. Yeah. Well, so Google Keep it's definitely, you're right, an underutilized tool. A lot of people don't know about it, but it is part of the core, it's part of the GSuite apps. It's free. And we have found it to be helpful for a few things. It largely started being helpful for writing for many age groups, but we've now expanded it to mathematics and science as well, and really anywhere where we need research. So essentially, Google Keep is a note-taking app. You can get there like any of the GSuite apps by either going to the waffle and finding Google Keep in there, or in your address bar, typing in keep.google.com. And once you go there, there's a lot of cool features. You can color code your notes. You can, some of our writing programs are doing for research, doing what are called boxes and bullets. And so they have like the main idea, and then they have like bullets of details when they're doing research. And so what's interesting, or they're preparing for a paper, and what's interesting is you could do the same thing. I saw that in a classroom, because I'm sure, Kim, you're like me, where I want to make sure that what I'm showing teachers aligns to what's happening in the context of their classroom. I don't want them to feel like a whole extra thing. So I see this anchor chart, this poster of the teachers teaching the kids to organize their information in like a box with bullets. And I said, it looks exactly like Google Keep. Exactly. Like because you could do the check boxes. And
Yep.
so these kids have started using that to prepare for their research papers, or just, what organizing their ideas before they write a paper. And it's been really exciting. So as if that wasn't good enough already, that it's a free Google note-taking app, it also, and it, you can color code, which I like, and like the other Google products, you can search. So some teachers and some students like to use labels to group all of the notes into categories and things. And that works really well for some people. But I've found for myself that the search function is so good, I don't even need it.
Really?
So yeah, I just put in, I will make a Google Keep note when I go to school sites, so that I know what teachers I talked to and what we talked about, and all those sorts of things. And I just search the name of the school site and I find it.
So it doesn't. So it doesn't have to be the title of the note. It
Nope.
can be embedded anywhere in the note and it'll pick it up. Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's pretty cool.
That's
pretty cool. Yeah,
That's
it
cool.
is. So all of those things are really good. You can also share notes with people, so they can be editors as well. They can be collaborators on it. I have a shared grocery list with my husband and my son, so that my son will say, "Mom, can you pick me up milk at the store?" And I say, "Put it on the grocery list or I'll forget." And so that's really nice. But what's even cooler is, as if that weren't cool enough, because it is. But what I really like is that Google Keep is one of the 3 apps that are on the side of Gmail, Docs, and Slides.
And calendar.
And calendar. Yeah, exactly. And so what's interesting about that is that if you have students who are either writing a paper in Google Docs or creating a presentation in Google Slides, if they take notes in Keep, they can see it on the side. So I can kind of show you, let me share my screen so I can show everyone a little bit of what that looks like. Just a moment here. I better do this just in case. New platform for me, so let me know when you see it. Okay, let me go to present mode here. So for example, so what you'll see is they split the screen, they're reading a text on the left, and then on the right, they're actually taking, and so that's one way that this particular teacher in middle school was using it. They were going to do a character analysis, and they were taking notes of their textual textual evidence beforehand. And then here's like second grade. Go ahead.
The doc on the left side is, what was that again?
This is actually just a PDF. So
okay.
this isn't with the integration, which I'm going to talk about in a moment. And then this is second graders, so young kids can do it as well. And they were just pulling information from a text that they were reading, a physical text, and then they were going to use that for slides. But I think it's the next one that shows, there's the color coding. Let me find it real quick. Here, this actually shows this GIF, how on the right of Google Docs, you can click the Google Keep logo. It's a looped GIF, and drag. You can either just reference all of your notes so that you can write based on that, or you can actually drag it over and all your notes are there. So it's a pretty cool tool, and it's the exact same format on Google Slides as well. So what's neat about that is then, when teachers say, well, I want my students, I want to see what their notes are while they're doing their research. So what we did was we had teachers, I told a teacher, this picture on the top left, I said, make a Google Classroom assignment that's just called, informational notes. And it was about the Revolutionary War is what they were researching. And so you can see on the bottom that the students accessed their notes, and they literally just dragged them over and turned that into that Google Classroom assignment.
So what do you mean they dragged it over into where?
Into Google Docs. So on the bottom picture, like they have the Google Doc open, and then they had clicked that Google Keep logo, accessed their notes in Google Keep, like they just look at them on the side there. And then they can literally you click the note and you drag it over with your mouse or with the fingers if you've got actually they're just showing you. Yeah, and then it just copies all the text onto that doc. So that makes it nice for the teacher to actually see what notes the kids are taking.
And then you turn the doc into Google Classroom.
Right. Then they turned the doc into Google Classroom. Exactly.
That's cool.
So that was a kind of cool thing that we did for those older kids, which is kind of neat,
Now, did you try that with the second grade students? How did they react to that?
That's a good question. Yeah, so the second grade students, we didn't have them drag it over for that, but we've had young kids that have touchscreen Chromebooks. This is exciting. So if they've got touchscreen Chrome, Google Keep, you can use a drawing feature. So you can draw on your Chromebook in Google Keep. And then let me share my screen again because this is pretty cool. This sparked the writing process because, let me find one here. See if I can find one. Here we go. Okay, so in this one, for example, this is a good one. So the student in Google Keep drew this dog, right? So you'll see on the left that the first thing we did was we just took some pictures of dogs. These are first graders. So we took some pictures of dogs, and then the kids would type in a sentence about, it's about informational about the dogs or whatever. So then there were some students that finished early. So I said, well, draw a picture of a dog in Google Keep. So they drew a picture of a dog, and then they dragged that picture. It becomes an image file. So they drag it, using this in slides, you can see they clicked on that Google Keep logo. So they drag it over. And now what was really interesting, you can tell how much more that student wasn't even done writing. And they wrote so much more because the drawing came from their imagination rather than a picture that we gave them. And yeah, and so it really kind of sparked the writing process. And it was just really exciting. Like, they love having their picture on a Google slide. I think the one prior, here's another one. Look how much this student wrote. I mean, that's amazing.
Yeah, that's first grade, right?
This is first grade, and they had gone to a field trip to see a bunch of cats. It's called Cat Haven. So there were, some lions and tigers and jaguars and such. And so they took a picture of it, and then they were writing about what they learned. But first grade, first grade.
Awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. So they actually drew their picture in a note, right? And then okay, because I think if I remember, like you said, if it's a touch screen, you get like the drawing tool available, right?
Yeah, it looks like kind of like a paintbrush.
Like a paintbrush. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I might have a picture of that as well. Let's see. Oh, maybe I don't. But yeah, it looks like a paintbrush. And so you just click that and you're able to draw directly on the screen. Here it is. So if you have touch screens, you see on this image here, there you can change the background, so like a grid or dots or lined paper, so to speak. But then to have them draw, then they would push that paintbrush. So you could see now we've been using it a lot with mathematics. So these students are drawing a graph based on information that we just did an informal survey of the class. Raise your hand if your favorite sport is basketball. Raise your hand if your favorite sport is football, whatever. And then they had to draw a graph to represent it. And then they opened up a Google slide. And you could do the same thing on Docs. So you can see on this picture, they opened the Google slide, they clicked on the Google Keep logo, dragged it over, and then they were writing about their observations from the graph. So really cool integration. This is great for science as well, because in science, there's a lot of visual modeling. And so kids can draw a visual model, they're making the unseen scene, and then they can write what they notice and what they wonder.
Yeah, I like that. And I also like on the previous slide when you showed the paintbrush tool.
Oh, yeah.
I like that you can change the background, because all those tools underneath the paintbrush, the writing tool, that reminds me of Jamboard, where you can change the background and the thickness of the pen and everything like that. So to me, you're right. I mean, Google Keep is definitely underutilized. I use it for digital note Post-it notes, basically. Sure. That's the way I don't use it with students. I use it personally and professionally for lists, really, Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's really like a hidden gem,
I think it is. Yeah. And I've seen it in all grade levels. I mean, if you've got touchscreens, you have kindergartners that can use it.
Yeah.
And the cool thing too is, so let's say I've had kids that will write, see if this one shows it. So they'll do some math problems, right? And so here in Google Keep, they worked on different ways to make 7, to represent the number 7. And then, so they did that. And then if you click the 3 dots on the top of Google Keep, you can actually make a new drawing within that same note. So they can have, multiple different problems, so to speak. But on this one, the students then screencasted adding that verbal explanation. So they went to Screencastify, which the free version is typically sufficient for students. It's screencastify.com. And I'm sure you're familiar with that one, Kim, but our students love that because now they are explaining verbally what they drew in Google Keep. And so the teachers like it too. Because if you can speak your explanation, it's much easier later on to write it. So these were first graders, but even the older kids, it's great for them as well.
Yeah, I agree. I think integrating Screencastify into responses, giving feedback, letting students explain their answers is priceless.
Yeah.
I really do. Actually, it's funny you bring Screencastify up because I created a YouTube playlist for middle school. Like I teach middle school students,
Uh-huh.
and I created a playlist for this lesson that we're doing. And
Okay.
there's a few videos in there, and I chunked it so they're short videos, maybe 2
Perfect.
minutes, under 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And all the kids, I tell them, they're asking me a question. I'm like, watch the video,
Yeah.
and I'll go back. Did you find your answer? Yes. And the kids are leaving me comments on my YouTube channel now, like, nice job, Mrs. Matina. This was so helpful. And this, so like you're giving them like a different way of learning. And
Yeah.
even to give them like the power to explain something to you, it gives you reassurance that they're actually comprehending like what you're teaching them. So it's important, and I'm glad that you brought that up because I think it's all about app smashing, right? Like how you actually,
absolutely.
like how you use each app and because everything you do has a purpose. We all have no time to do anything. So we have to maximize our app smashing skills, right? And, Google Keep and Screencastify and Slides and Docs and Jamboard. I mean, it's all related. You can app smash and make your workflow much more efficient, and the students too.
Yeah, and I tell people think past the app because it's not about like you're talking about app smashing, but it's all based on a learning goal. So don't start with I want to use Google Keep. Start with what do I need kids to do? Oh, I need them, for example, maybe I need kids to collect research, or collect notes from research and then write a paper. Perfect. Google Keep and Google Docs is going to be great. Maybe I need, or maybe I need kids to complete a drawing of an experiment, of a science model. Perfect. Use Google Keep and then have them drag it into slides and write about it or whatever. So,
I'm glad you brought that up because I think it's important to note that because people think about the tool first, and that's not like the learning goal is what's important, and then the tech comes. So I'm glad you brought that up because it's very important to remember the learning goal is for the students to learn the content.
Yes, absolutely. And the technology can accelerate that learning, but we're not teaching the tech. That's not why we use technology. We do need to use technology because that's where our kids are at and it engages them and they need to be ready for the world. It helps them with critical thinking. But we teach, students content. We don't teach them. It's not a technology class, right? Like most of us are teachers of, okay, I'm teaching kids to analyze the text in Fahrenheit 451. Or I'm teaching them to, map the development of a character. Okay, well, technology can help that because they can access their information. And the other thing too is, how many times have you heard kids say, "I lost my notes"?
That's true.
Well, guess what? It's all in the cloud. You didn't lose them.
Yes, exactly.
They're there. Google kept it for you.
Isn't that funny? They'll say to me, "Can I save it?" I'm like, "It saves it automatically.
Right.
You can just log off. It's all good. Your stuff's
Right.
saved." And that's in middle school. It's so funny.
Yeah.
It is. But now with Google Keep, I know there's a Chrome extension and then there's an app. Can you talk a little bit about the difference between the Chrome extension and the app, or what actually is the Chrome extension, what the purpose is?
Well, there's a Chrome extension called Save to Keep where you can like save the website you're on directly to keep. I don't use it much. I haven't seen students use it much either. I feel like Google Keep, because it now integrates so well with docs and slides, that it's not really necessary to have any extensions for Google Keep, at least in my experience. And so for me, I don't use it, and our students don't either. They just go straight to Google Keep. They go to keep.google.com, the app itself, so to speak, on their Chromebooks, and access it there. And then it just integrates so well that we don't really use that. I did used to use the Keep extension before it integrated with Gmail, especially. I used to have, I'd be checking my email and I would need to look at my to-do list, which is on Google Keep, simultaneously to see when would be a good time for me to, meet with someone, or, and then there was Calendar too, because Calendar wasn't integrated either on that tab on the side. And so now that I have that, I feel like I don't need to see my Keep notes pop up on my browser. Like I can just look on the side. So for me, because those are the things that the times when I would normally use Google Keep is when I'm in, Gmail or Docs or Slides, that personally I don't need it. Right. There could be others that might want to see their Google Keep notes as a kind of a drop down, so to speak, as an extension on their browser. But for me, I'm not really needing it. I will say that the mobile app, if you have a smartphone, for example, or a tablet or such, has some additional features that are not on the browser. So Chromebooks, you're not going to have quite as much cool extra features that you will on a smartphone. So if you have students that have their own phones, depending on your grade level, they can do some really cool stuff. And you can it can help your productivity too. So the difference is, some of the things that are cool about it is in Keep on the mobile app, one thing you can do is you can actually like annotate an image. So you can take a picture within Google Keep and then you can write on it. With just with like a pen. You just select the pen and you can write on it. So that's kind of cool. Let me share my screen again and I'll show you some of the features of the mobile app as well. So
hold on a minute. Hold on. There we go.
All right. So you can see, like, I just took this picture that someone had taken, and then I clicked on it. And then I was able to, as you could see, the pen down there, I can write on it. So that's kind of cool. Cool. If you need that, that's just on the mobile app. The other amazing thing that is great for teachers, I've had teachers say, can you like I want to take this picture that I have. I took a picture, or I have this PDF or whatever that I can't like copy and paste the text, but I want the text typed out, right? Or I found this poster. I had a poster that I saw and I want the text off of it. What do? Take a picture of the poster in Google Keep, click grab image text, and it will print out absolutely everything that is on that poster or that whatever's on that picture.
Yeah, that's really cool. I know that's there, but I never really use it on my phone because I always forget about it. So I'm glad that you brought that up, because you're right. Some people, they do need the text from a picture, and then they can take that note and just drag it into Google Docs or Google Slides, and then they can manipulate it from there. So that's a really great way of using it. Now, I hope you're going to talk about the recording feature.
Yeah, I will. Hey, look, that's next.
That's next.
Yeah, they do have the speech to text and voice recording functions. So actually what I do is, a lot of times when I am, sometimes when I'm driving, I'll have a thought and I don't want to forget it. Like a lot of times I come up with my blog post ideas while I'm driving. And so this way I can actually just speak it and it turns to text. It's speech to text.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, and then you can do a recording where you just can listen to yourself again. But for me, I liked seeing the text. But yeah, it's pretty good. And as you know, the speech to text, well, and just as far as platforms that understood what we were saying, so to speak, like back in 2010 when I used to do Google Translate, I was told not to, like, stop by native speakers because they would translate word for word. And so same with the speech recognition software. What happens is the software now, what they do instead of translating word for word, what they're going to do is they're actually going to translate. They use machine learning to learn what certain phrases are, and so whatever is a common phrase, they'll fix it that way. So that predictive text has gotten a lot better.
Yeah, it's
and
more
so,
accurate.
Right, absolutely. So that's a really good feature. The other cool thing about the mobile app that is not the case on the browser is you can set it, but if you have a mobile phone or watch and you have the app on your phone, you can set a reminder and you will get a notification on your phone and or watch about whatever it is that you need to do. So for example, if you've got kids that have, I know some teachers that say, you have something due tonight, so I want you to go into Google Keep. I want you to set a reminder you can do either a location or a time period. So they set, their address, and then when they get home, then their phone will or watch will buzz, and they will be reminded that they need to do, their assignment or whatever it happens to be.
Wow. Okay. That's cool. I never used the reminder that way at all.
Uh-huh.
Because I'm always setting up the reminders in my calendar.
Sure.
So like I'm not using that feature of Google Keep, but that's a good thing, a good feature to bring up because a lot of people are wearing smartwatches
Mhm.
nowadays and they can get the notification right on their watch, and then there's really no excuse,
Exactly. I
not
heard
no excuse to do your homework.
I was in a middle school classroom, and the teacher said, and the whole school uses Google Classroom, and the school is take home Chromebooks with Wi-Fi for everyone in the boundaries. And the teacher said, I kind of feel sorry for you guys because there are no excuses. I put every assignment in Google Classroom. You have Wi-Fi at home, you have a Chromebook. I mean,
There's no excuse.
there's no excuse. You can't lose it. You can't, you can't lose the paper or whatever. You're not going to lose the Chromebook.
No.
And even if you do, guess what? It's cloud-based.
Yeah.
So you can still log in on another device. So it was real interesting to hear that. I saw a funny cartoon where it's two dogs talking, right? And the dog says, "Oh yeah, I can't eat homework anymore. It's really, really." And then the other dog says, "Oh, it's so much easier. You just go to the cloud and you go to the Google Drive and you just press delete."
Oh.
That was really cute.
I thought you were gonna say, yeah, we'll just play fetch with the mobile device or something like that.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. But it's cloud-based, so they can still access it, right? You have to
That's
delete
true.
it. So,
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's too funny. Yeah, it's crazy, It's that's the way it is. That's the times we're in, and these kids are growing up with that, and when they graduate high school or middle school or college, they got to be on the cutting edge because we didn't get there yet. We're still exploring that horizon. So, this is the moment that we're in, and they gotta be proficient at it. So
absolutely.
yeah, I agree. It's and that's where it's rough because there's so many options out there. What's the best thing? What's the best avenue to do? And you have to figure out what is your comfort zone, what the student goal is, and then you just target that tech to enhance it. So everybody's got different opinions, but it's really up to the teacher and their comfort level and how well they feel with that tool to enhance the learning. And I
Yeah.
tell teachers in my school, like, what's the worst thing that's going to happen? Nothing.
Exactly.
You post it again, or you ask a student for help. Nothing. You ask people for help.
That's right.
It's
That's right.
not the end of the world. And some people are just very they don't want to show that they're vulnerable in front of students, and I tell them you should, because you're a
Mhm.
human being, and the kids need to see adults struggle through or go through that thinking process and think out loud or troubleshoot and try to figure out how to go about plan B or plan C.
Yeah.
And it's a good thing, like, and you just explain it to the kids. Like I think that's a lot to show for the person as well. So, there's a lot there
Mhm.
that
Absolutely.
we need to expose our kids to as well. So, well, I'm so glad that you came on today and went over all this. You actually refreshed my memory a little bit on some of these features. So thank you.
Awesome. Yes, yes, certainly. It was a pleasure.
Yeah, and now I'm rethinking, like, I have a PD day coming up, and now I'm like,
Okay.
maybe I should do Google Keep, but it's too late. I already submitted my proposal, so I'll have to do that next time for the next
Absolutely.
district. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. I mean, Google Keep is a great tool. I love using it. I use it in calendar. I use it in my email. I don't usually use it in my slides or my docs because I'm not using it with students, but
Mhm.
for me, it's more productivity with mail,
Yeah.
Gmail, and calendar. So I get that you're saying it's very underutilized.
Mhm.
So I think that you went over a lot of cool ways of using it in the classroom with elementary and middle school students, and
And high school too. We got
and
high
high
school students
school. Yeah.
as
So I
well.
think, I mean, I'm definitely going to pass this along to people. I just think people just don't know what it is.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
I'm going to pass it along, and maybe in my next PD day in February, I will definitely put in a session to do it, because it's like you said, it's not utilized. And I think now there's a new feature came out with Google Keep. I think you can type new.keep,
Yes, I think it's
right?
keep.com/keep or /new or something, just like you can with a doc or a slide or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, so like now Keep, you can do .new for Keep now.
Mhm.
So it's just a shortcut where you can add a new note in your account for Google Keep. So they're really trying to integrate it as well and align it with the other apps too. So it's nice to see that
Yeah,
they added that update. Well,
definitely.
I am going to call that a show, because I think that show had a lot of great information, and I really appreciate you being on and going over all of that, Catherine. So, what I'm going to do real quick is share my screen. So let me know if you can see my screen, okay? Because I'm still learning this
New
tool, this
platform,
StreamYard.
sure. Now I can
Okay.
see it.
Can you see my screen?
Yep.
All right. So, if you'd like to be a guest on my show, you can visit my website, thesuitetalk.com. That's the SUITE talk.com. And on the homepage, you can scroll down and fill out the guest inquiry form, and just fill out, what you feel comfortable showcasing. And help me pay it forward and help other educators integrate technology effectively in the classroom. If you'd like to subscribe to my YouTube channel, it's on here. You can join the Facebook group, subscribe to my newsletter. Also, I am on Podbean, Spotify, Apple Podcast, Google Play Music, and Google Podcasts. And right now, I am scheduling guests for next year. Can you believe it? I can't even believe that I'm scheduling for like February and March
Awesome.
2020 right now. Like, I'm so thankful for everybody who wants to be on and share and learn. And this whole experience has been great. So keep it coming, guys. Help other educators, and be on my show. And honestly, it's a lot of fun. So please consider it. Anyway, I don't want to take any more time up from Catherine. I know she's busy. So I'm going to call it a show. And thank you, Catherine, for being on. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Have a great night. Bye.